Hello guys, happy Friday. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jimmy Trades here. Please sub to the channel if you haven't already done so. Like the video and turn on that notification bell. That way you get to see all the videos that I upload. Hope everyone's had a good week so far. We're going to dive into the charts in a moment. I'm going to also break down, have a closer look at the CL trade I took yesterday, which was a loss. See what lessons we can take away from that. So we'll check out the calendar, which is where we always start. And we have a No News Friday. So, opportunity to still enter the market today. But just keeping in mind that we don't have that liquidity injection. So we have a low to medium probability sort of day. All right, let's jump over to the charts. Here we are on oil. So we might as well stay on oil and have a look at that trade as well. So if you haven't seen my trade video that I posted earlier, I will link that to this video. So you should see something at the top right corner that you can click on and it'll take you and show you that trade playing out. So moving into yesterday, we had a bearish bias. One thing to note is I did discuss in yesterday's video that I was looking to see if price, as it moved lower, does it respect the 50% level of this buyer's wick. So price actually did in fact respect that level. So when it came into New York Open, I actually didn't revisit this. So that's the first thing to note. I didn't revisit this, therefore I just still had this bearish bias in mind. And the reason for the bearish bias was moving from a swing high, this high here, inside a bearish FEG. But I didn't look back at the daily chart to see what price was doing, how it had reacted. And clearly there was a reaction here and we see that price got bought back up. Now, let's move down the time frames. So the next thing to note was as we came into New York Open, which is this candle here, that price actually didn't sweep a point of interest. So on our hourly time frame, price didn't sweep a swing high and it didn't move from an FEG. So this is an error, a mistake in my trading. So we should be looking for a sweep of a high time frame point of interest here on the hourly chart if we're executing on the 5-minute. And then if we drop down to the 5-minute, actually what I'll do is I'll just go to the 15 for a moment. So just moving to the 5-minute here, we were looking, this would have been the swing point, or the, sorry, not the swing point, the area of interest, the high time frame point of interest that price needed to push into. That didn't happen. So here was the formation, and this is the trap, guys. Okay. The unicorn model will always be there. You can find it anywhere in the charts. But if it doesn't meet the rules, then you reduce the probabilities of the trade playing out. So, you know, straight away, two things. I was looking for a reaction on the daily at the 50% level of that previous day buyer's wick. Okay, this yellow line is that 50% level. Okay, that's the first thing. What do you notice? Look at the reaction down on the 5-minute. It's perfect to see. It's perfect to see. Price couldn't push through. Okay, that held price up. Second thing is we didn't sweep a point of interest. So yes, we do have a breaker block. We do have an FVG aligned with the breaker block. And all those other concepts that I use do build into giving this part of the formation, the idea that we might have a potential trade set up. But we were missing a couple of key components. And as you can see, the trade didn't play out. So this was what I was looking for. And that did not play out. Okay, we got the close below and I entered on this very next candle. So just an example there, guys, that, you know, not following the rules you set out, your entry function rules reduces your probability. And we're all going to do it from time to time. That's just the nature of the game. But if we can go back and we can review it and we can see where we missed the mark, well, that's where we get the lessons from so that we don't do it again and again. All right. So just wanted to share that with you, the reasons for this trade not playing out. So let's now move on. Let's go back out to the daily and let's see what price is doing today. Again, we've had a sweep of a high that is aligned with this internal, this FVG. Based on that information, I would be looking for price to run short today. So we'll keep a bearish bias. Let's drop to the hourly. Do have a failure swing here, and we do have displacement. We have a change in the state of delivery. We don't want help. Maybe we do need help. Wrong button. Okay, that's what I want. So we can run our projections off of here. We have a nice draw. This low here, which aligns with our -2 to 2.5. So have a balanced price range here. And price has respected this and this negative change in the state of delivery. So we'll sit bearish and we'll see how the market plays out today. Just duck back out to the daily here. If we're looking at a weekly profile, we could be looking at a consolidation with Thursday reversal. So we have Wednesday putting in the low, Thursday puts in the high, and then we look like we might have that reversal today. we'll just see how price reacts through these levels here. All right, moving on. Let's get over to NQ. So we have Monday put in the low of the week. We have large expansion. Large expansion. Let me get rid of that. And we have this expansion with displacement. That's why we were bullish yesterday. We had this decisive close above the swing high with displacement because we had this breakaway gap here. Now we are at all-time highs. Price was unable to close beyond the previous all-time high. We closed back inside. Today's price has seen Thursday's high, and high has been swept already. So we may be looking at TGIFs where Friday comes back into the range. Now I've just run out the range of this week. So we potentially could see price come back to 20 to 30% of the weekly range. So this is our 30% level. So we could see price reach back in. So I'm going to run with the bearish bias. The market does probably need to cool off a little with this large expansion. ES is also at all-time highs. Previous all-time high. We tore through that again with displacement. We have this breakaway gap. And we have Monday low of the week. Potential for TGIF. Where we see again ES come back into 20 to 30% of the range. So which would put us down into this gap here. Okay, put us back into this region here. Something else to note is we do also have an SMT at the highs. So right through here we have ES has put in a lower high where NQ has put in a higher high today. So there is that potential with that SMT to see a reversal here. Having a look at 6E, which is your Euro futures. We had a sweep of the low here, a sweep of the swing low. We have internal liquidity right here. So I'll be looking for price to reach up into that level. So bullish for Euro futures. Now YM. All-time highs. Swept this high here. Again, we did that with displacement. Monday also putting in the low of the week for YM. And we did cool off a little bit here. There was very little price movement yesterday. So I'm going to look for price to move back into this gap. And we may see something like this occur. And if we extend the range, and we could see price come back into this space here for a TGIF. Okay, Russell. We were in this bearish FEG and price has started to roll a little bit here. It has been unable to move higher. I'm going to continue with the bearish bias from yesterday and look for price to reach into back into the range here, back into the weekly range. Because again, Monday did put in the low of the week. Okay. But if you look at the dealing range, they have Friday low to the Wednesday high. So Wednesday midweek reversal, Friday looking for price to come back inside the range. So jumping over to gold. So we did get that nice move yesterday that we were looking for with gold. And I'll remain bullish. Gold hasn't taken the high yet. In fact, we've put in relative equal highs here on gold. And we have this gap to reach for as well. So moving from external to internal. And if we look at the hourly, we obviously have some projections there. And those projections also line up with the high. I don't know what those projections are looking at that. But these projections do line up with this high here and into this gap. So if price can look at this as a breakaway gap here and leave this gap open, we've retested this gap, this bullish FEG, and we can look for price to run up into that daily FEG. So we'll remain bullish. Gold, moving out to the daily on Dixie, and we had that bearish bias which we had correct yesterday, and I'm going to stick with that bias. It looks like we may have had so we had this opening gap that still hasn't been filled from Tuesday. We also have a gap today. That still needs to be filled as well. So partially filled. We know gaps like to be filled, so a very nice draw. We're equal lows down here as well. And if we run our projections from this swing here, then we can see that the -2 to 2.5 is aligned with this swing low. We do also have a bearish breaker here. We have displacement through. It takes its time. It's not very decisive, but we do end up getting displacement through the breaker. And we've retested that as well. So we've come back up and retested that level. So bearish for Dixie. Let's jump over to GBP. And again, nice. We had the the bullish bias yesterday. And we're going to stick with that bias. We're moving from external, looking for price to reach to the next liquidity point. Our next internal level is all the way up here. We have a ton of low resistance liquidity through here as well. So, but we'll be looking for this high as our first point of interest. So remaining bullish for GBP. Okay guys, thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you've had a fantastic week. I hope you've learned a few things. I certainly have. Grateful to be able to share my journey with you. Please tune in again next week. Feel free to comment. Please sub to the channel and let us know what you're up to on the weekend in the comments below. Always like to engage with the community. So please do that. And give the channel, give the video a like. All right, guys, take care. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Bye for now.